Not forget, homie, they killed Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder was not a lone actor in that. If you go back and follow the details, Nip and Big U got into it.
Blacc Sam just stepped into the conversation online, and his reaction has everybody talking. This comes right after federal prosecutors filed updated charges tying Big U to alleged threats connected to Nipsey Hussle's tragic ending. And the details coming out of those court documents, they're heavy. According to the indictment, investigators claim they uncovered wiretapped phone calls where Big U allegedly made intense statements about Nipsey. Instead of using extreme language, let's just say the tone was serious and disturbing. These are allegations laid out by federal authorities, not proven conclusions. But the fact that recorded calls are even part of this case, that's what has people stunned. Now here's where it really gets deep. This situation isn't just about two men from the same neighborhood falling out. This story is layered with history, loyalty, and what some people see as personal betrayal at the highest level. And when you look at Blacc Sam's response, it feels like he's been holding on to years of tension that most of the public never saw. To understand how things got here, you have to understand who Big U was in Los Angeles. Eugene, Big U. Henley wasn't just another name in the Rollins 60s circle. He was considered a respected figure, someone people listened to. In those streets, reputation is currency, and Big U had plenty of it. But he wasn't only moving in street circles. He was also trying to build something bigger through music.
Big U's son getting killed.
I don't have no thoughts on Big U's son getting killed. When there's blood in the streets, I don't like to talk about it. But I do got thoughts on Big U. I told y'all. Y'all don't gotta listen to person when I say that every man gonna cry behind them walls. Don't worry about it. No, nigga, I'm a man, nigga. I don't go no, I ain't brother Eli. I don't do no crime, nigga. I'm a gangster. It ain't about you being there. Something can happen that'll break you down behind them balls.
Remember,
you hear me?
The other way.
You hear me?
Right, because you spoke on that, bro, about
when them chaplains come.
Worst fear.
The worst fear, yeah, it's losing. Something while you in there.
Yeah.
But you, now you see what it feel like you?
He reportedly saw hip-hop as a path toward legitimacy, a way to shift his image and create a business empire. That's where Nipsey Hussle entered the picture. Back in the early 2000s, Nipsey was just a young artist grinding for his shot. Big U allegedly saw potential in him and brought him close, and not just on some casual mentorship level. Reports say Nipsey actually stayed at Big U's home at times. That's not industry networking, that's personal. Big U reportedly set up studio space in his basement so Nipsey could record freely. He provided housing, food, and connections. From the outside looking in, it seemed like real investment. Time, money, energy. And in street culture, when someone puts you on like that, it carries weight. There are also claims that Big U helped Nipsey get studio access through Suge at Night during a time when Suge still carried influence in hip-hop. That kind of cosign wasn't small. It signaled power and protection. Allegedly, Big U even signed Nipsey under his label, Unique Music, alongside industry executive Steve Laubel. That partnership suggested an attempt to legitimize things the right way. Now again, these are reported accounts and past interviews, not courtroom verdicts. But the narrative paints a picture of a mentor-student dynamic that felt more like family than business. And that's what makes the fallout so intense. As Nipsey's career grew, tensions reportedly started bubbling. The exact details remain unclear, but sources have pointed to a dispute involving equipment at Big U's shop.
When Nipsey died, right? When Nipsey got killed, we probably had about 375, 400 kids that was in our program. And I had a travel basketball team. We had a contract with Adidas that was worth about $3 million that Kanye West gave us.
Wow.
And then I had like a bunch of other little contracts and for a nonprofit. We were really thriving. Then Nipsey gets killed. Well, after Nipsey get killed, then the rumor goes out, Big U had something to do. We lost everything.
You lost all those?
And when I tell you everything.
Wow.
Kanye stopped answering the phone. Adidas stopped answering the phone. And I ended up almost going dead broke because we already committed to this team.
On paper, that sounds minor. But in certain environments, respect isn't minor. It's everything. From Big U's perspective, if the reports are accurate, he had housed Nipsey, fed him, connected him, and helped launch his career. Then Nipsey released a track that many interpreted as a public shot at Big U. Whether that was Nipsey's intention or not, that move reportedly hit deep. In street circles, public disrespect isn't just about feelings, it's about image. If a respected figure appears weak, others may test that position. So Big U was allegedly stuck in a tough spot: respond and escalate things, or stay quiet and risk losing status. And here's the part people overlook: personal hurt often comes before public conflict. If someone you treated like family calls you out in a song, that's not just business, that's emotional. In past interviews and docu-series appearances, Big U has spoken about feeling disrespected. He even mentioned trying to address the situation internally, rather than letting it spiral. Again, those are his words from media appearances, not confirmed behind-the-scenes footage. Fast forward to today, and federal prosecutors are presenting a completely different level of accusations. The updated indictment claims Big U made threatening remarks that investigators believe were serious. It's important to remember, allegations are not convictions. The legal process is still playing out. But Blacc Sam's recent reaction online, that's what shifted the energy. Instead of saying much, his tone felt controlled but pointed. And when someone that close to Nipsey steps forward at a moment like this, it signals something bigger. It feels like years of silence finally cracking open. For over a decade, there's been talk about unresolved tension. People in the community have whispered about broken trust, loyalty questions, and old wounds. And now, with federal charges surfacing, everything is being dragged back into the spotlight.
Criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal.
RICO charges against Mr. Henley and his associates reflect a pattern of crimes that runs the gambit from extortion to robbery to murder to tax fraud and to human trafficking, all under the umbrella of a well-organized criminal organization led by...
This isn't just about paperwork. It's about relationships that changed, alliances that fractured, and a legacy that still means everything to the people closest to Nipsey. At the end of the day, the courts will decide what's true and what isn't. But one thing is clear, this story didn't start with an indictment. It started years ago with loyalty, ambition, pride, and what some believe was betrayal. Now let's slow this down because a lot of people don't understand what discipline means in certain street circles. It's not a sit-down talk. It can mean getting handled physically, getting surrounded, or worse. So when Big U allegedly talked about having Nipsey disciplined, that wasn't light language. That was serious energy. If those reports are accurate, it shows how deeply he felt about being publicly disrespected. In that culture, image is everything. Authority isn't just a title, it's survival. If someone challenges you publicly and you don't respond, some believe it weakens your position. That's the mindset people describe. But this also highlights something darker. In environments like that, physical retaliation can become the first response instead of conversation. Instead of mediation, pride takes the wheel. And once pride takes over, logic often leaves the room. At the time, things didn't explode immediately because Nipsey's brother stepped in. Blacc Sam reportedly intervened and cooled the situation before it went further. But stopping one moment doesn't erase the tension underneath. It just pauses it. From that point on, you can imagine Blacc Sam probably kept a closer eye on things. When you see your brother caught in something like that, you don't forget it. That kind of memory sticks. Then came March 18th, 2011, a date many people point to as a turning point. The reported location was near the Shell station at Crenshaw and Slauson in Hyde Park. This wasn't neutral ground. This was Nipsey's neighborhood. So when Big U showed up there, people saw that as a bold move. In street culture, pulling up to someone's area isn't casual. It sends a message. Some see it as confrontation before words are even spoken. And from the way witnesses later described it, the energy that day was already tense before anything physical even started. What followed, according to accounts, was a physical altercation. Nipsey was around 25 at the time, smaller in build. Big U was much taller and reportedly trained in martial arts. It wasn't an even matchup physically. Observers said Nipsey appeared overwhelmed in the scuffle. Again, these are descriptions from people who claim to be there, not official fight footage. But multiple retellings paint the scene as intense. Some said it felt less like settling an argument and more like proving a point. That's the part that stands out. And this is where Blacc Sam's name enters heavy. Witnesses say Samuel Asghedom, Blacc Sam, saw his brother struggling and reacted fast. Reports claim he fired shots into the air to break up the fight, not aiming at anyone, but trying to shut it down. That decision changed everything in seconds. When gunfire echoes in a neighborhood, even warning shots, the atmosphere flips instantly. People scatter, police respond, panic spreads, and that's exactly what happened next. Law enforcement arrived, and things escalated quickly. One officer reportedly returned fire in the direction of Blacc Sam, but missed. Authorities later claimed he pointed his weapon toward them. Some witnesses pushed back on that version, saying he was only firing upward to stop the conflict. Two very different perspectives. 5 people were detained that day, but only Blacc Sam ended up facing charges.
Not forget, homie, they killed Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder was not a lone actor in that. If you go back and follow the details, Nip and Big U got into it. Big U hit Nip Daddy across the head with a bat. His brother had to come out and shoot the gun. Hey, y'all get out. Say, Nip, come on, nigga, we finna come beat you. Because I don't want to pay that $20,000. You say it's over this equipment. But the white folks is pulling me away from the set. But now they pulling me away from the set. The set have made it known nobody's bigger than the set. Nobody's bigger than the program. Nip had gotten bigger than the program. Quando is a reminder that nobody's bigger than the program. But Nip had gotten bigger than the set.
Specifically, assault with a deadly weapon. Big U wasn't charged in connection to the physical confrontation. That detail has fueled debate for years. From Blacc Sam's point of view, he was protecting his brother. From the legal system's point of view, discharging a firearm in public is serious no matter the reason. Both realities existed at the same time. After that day, many believe the tension didn't fade, it deepened. Fast forward to the recent federal indictment, and prosecutors now allege there were years of hostility and threats behind the scenes. Again, these are allegations presented in court documents, not final rulings. The indictment suggests Big U carried resentment for a long time. It paints a picture of ongoing conflict that allegedly created a dangerous atmosphere around Nipsey. Now, it's important to be clear. The individual convicted for ending Nipsey Hussle's life was someone else entirely. Big U has not been convicted of that act. But federal authorities are now arguing that long-term intimidation and alleged threats helped shape a toxic environment. That's their claim, and it will be tested in court. What's undeniable is this. The relationship between Big U and Nipsey didn't collapse overnight. It fractured slowly, publicly, and painfully, and Blacc Sam has been in the middle of it from the beginning. When federal prosecutors filed that superseding indictment, they didn't hold back. The document paints Big U as someone who allegedly relied on fear and pressure to keep control. And the most explosive part? The recorded conversations about Nipsey Hussle that investigators say they captured over the years. According to the indictment, the government had been building this case quietly, using wiretaps and surveillance to track alleged criminal activity. These weren't random clips. Prosecutors claim they monitored conversations that, in their view, showed a pattern of intimidation. One section describes Big U allegedly discussing how he handled someone from the Rollins 60s known as OG Crip CZ. In that call, prosecutors say he claimed the person was physically handled over perceived disrespect and suggested it could have gone further. That's not courtroom proof yet, but it's what the indictment lays out. Then things shift to Nipsey. In one part of the filing, prosecutors quote Big U allegedly saying that if a situation had gone differently, he wouldn't be here or I wouldn't be here. The government is using that language to argue that Big U linked his status in the streets to extreme outcomes. That's their interpretation, and it's going to be tested in court. What really caught attention is how casually some of the alleged statements were made. Prosecutors argue this wasn't heat-of-the-moment talk. They claim it sounded calculated, like someone comfortable discussing serious harm as part of maintaining authority. Then there's a wiretap call from December 31st, 2022, more than 3 years after Nipsey's life was tragically ended. According to federal documents, Big U allegedly said he was bigger than Nipsey and claimed he had disciplined him. That detail shocked a lot of people. Think about that timeline. Nipsey had been gone for years, yet his name was still coming up in intercepted conversations. Prosecutors suggest this shows long-term resentment. Of course, defense attorneys will likely argue context matters, but from the outside looking in, it raises eyebrows. Then came another intercepted call on January 1st, 2023. In that recording, according to the indictment, Big U allegedly said, If anyone beefs with Big U, I'm gonna kill him, period. Now, let's be clear. Those are the government's quoted words from their filing. Big U has not been convicted on these new charges. Still, that kind of language is serious. Prosecutors argue it reflects someone who viewed violence as a tool for control rather than a last resort. Whether that interpretation holds up in court is another story. The indictment doesn't stop there. It also describes alleged incidents where Big U threatened a South Los Angeles business after employees refused him a discount. In another instance, prosecutors claim he talked about being in rival territory while making aggressive remarks. Again, allegations, not verdicts. According to the government, these weren't isolated comments. They argue it was a pattern, using intimidation, reputation, and sometimes other people to enforce authority. The filing even claims he bragged about having 2 blowers, which street slang often refers to firearms. Prosecutors are building this case under the federal RICO statute. That law is designed to target alleged criminal enterprises, not just individual acts. So even if someone didn't personally carry out violence, the government can argue they directed or benefited from it. That's a key point here. The federal case does not charge Big U with directly ending Nipsey Hussle's life. That case was handled in state court, where Eric Ronald Holder Jr. was convicted and sentenced to 60 years to life. What federal prosecutors are doing now is broader. They're alleging a long-running enterprise built on intimidation and influence. They're saying the alleged threats against Nipsey were part of a larger system of control. Now here's where Blacc Sam's response hits differently. When news of the charges broke, Blacc Sam didn't react like someone surprised. His tone suggested this wasn't new information to him. It felt like someone who had been aware of tension for years finally seeing it play out publicly. From his perspective, if prosecutors are right, then this wasn't random hostility. It was long-standing pressure. But again, that's the prosecution's version. The defense will have their own narrative. This whole situation speaks to something bigger than one dispute. It shows how pride, status, and image can spiral when communication breaks down. What started years ago as mentorship reportedly turned into rivalry. And when ego mixes with street politics, things can get toxic fast. The saddest part? Nipsey and Big U once had the chance to build something powerful together. Early reports describe a mentor investing in a young artist. Somewhere along the way, that dynamic fractured. And according to federal prosecutors, the resentment didn't fade. It intensified. The superseding indictment adds what they call overt acts, specific examples meant to show a pattern. Federal RICO cases are complex and take years to assemble. The fact that prosecutors are now presenting wiretap quotes about Nipsey suggests they believe their evidence is strong. But let's not forget, charges are not convictions. Courtrooms exist for a reason. Evidence will be challenged, context will be debated, and juries decide outcomes, not headlines. Still, one thing is clear, the story between Big U and Nipsey didn't just end in 2019. It carried on in conversations, in alleged threats, and now in federal court filings. And with Blacc Sam speaking out, it feels like years of silence are finally being broken open. Now let's tighten this up because the money angle is where things really shift. Prosecutors claim Big U's alleged operation was pulling in serious cash from people who felt pressured to cooperate. The theory is that some entertainment figures with street ties were vulnerable, especially if they couldn't easily go to law enforcement. That gray area, according to the indictment, made the setup profitable. But what really stands out are the wiretaps. The government says Big U spoke openly on recorded calls about Nipsey, other Rollin' 60s members, and even associates. Prosecutors argue those conversations became key evidence in building their case. If true, that kind of bold talk may have backfired in a big way. There are also broader allegations tied to drug distribution, though those claims still have to be proven in court. Some believe outside activity brought extra scrutiny around Nipsey's movements, adding pressure while he was trying to focus on business and community projects. At the center of all this is the contrast. Nipsey Hussle was pushing ownership, development, and economic growth in South Los Angeles. Meanwhile, prosecutors now allege Big U was operating through intimidation and control. Those claims will ultimately be decided in federal court. Eric Ronald Holder Jr. has already been convicted for ending Nipsey's life. This federal case isn't about retrying that. It's about whether a larger pattern existed behind the scenes. No matter what happens in court, Nipsey's legacy is still standing. His impact didn't fade. The marathon continues. If you've been following this case, let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Check out the next video on your screen for more celebrity drama, and I'll catch you in the next one.